Hey kiddo, so this is part 2 of the video that I made a couple months ago called Essential Healthy Girl Habits. It's basically just me giving you big sister advice, so like if I was your big sis or your aunt or your bestest friend, here are some things that I would tell you. And by the way, most of this is actually applicable to dudes too, so if you're a guy, keep watching. Know your body. So I've definitely talked about this on Instagram. I'm unsure if I've talked about it here, but if you're a woman, for starters, the minimum of what you should do is to track your menstrual cycle. Not just to know when you're going to get your periods and when you're ovulating and your fertility, but it'll help you understand so much more, like your mood, your cravings. You'll be better able to plan and predict your days and your weeks. Your hormones fluctuate quite a lot throughout your cycle, and so for example, in one part of your cycle, you will feel stronger and perform better when it comes to physical activities like going to the gym. In other parts, you might feel more sensitive and so on. I read the book Period Power that I think had a lot of interesting information on this topic, but there is so much that you can read online as well. A good starting point would be to learn about the 4 seasons of your menstrual cycle. Also, on knowing your body, you should learn about your vaginal discharge, the different smells and consistencies. That way, you will more easily be able to spot when something isn't quite right, like if there is an infection or something going on down there, and getting to know the different textures can also help you predict when you're ovulating. Do your pelvic floor exercises. As we're on this topic, don't forget to do your pelvic floor exercises to strengthen the muscles around your bladder, bottom, and vagina. Strengthening your pelvic floor muscles can help urinary incontinence and treat pelvic organ prolapse, I think it's called in English. I will link a couple sources on how you do them, but basically you just squeeze your pelvic floor muscles, which should feel kind of like when you're holding in your pee, and then hold for a couple seconds and then release, and then you repeat that. But yeah, I'll leave some links. Now, if you're here, you're probably someone who is interested in self-growth and getting to know yourself and understanding yourself. That's why I've chosen BetterHelp to be the sponsor of this video, because I know how important therapy has been for my personal development journey, especially the very last point in this video, which I'll get to in a few minutes. Therapy really helped me with that one. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy accessible, and that's an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard. BetterHelp's a platform that makes finding a therapist easy because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you with a therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link in my description. It's betterhelp.com/Lana, and clicking that link also helps support this channel, but also gets you 10% off your first month at BetterHelp, so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little bit like, dating, if it's not really a fit for some reason, it's very easy to switch your therapist if you want to. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in my description box or visit betterhelp.com/Lana. Thank you so much again to BetterHelp for supporting this channel. Privacy. I want to preface this by saying that I know this is going to look different depending on your age, your culture, the norms in your friend group, and whatnot. And some of you are not going to agree with this. But personally, I believe that privacy, especially in this day and age, and not oversharing the very personal details of our lives is almost sacred at this point. I think it's beautiful to keep parts of relationships specifically to ourselves. So as an example, intimacy between two people, I think should be kept in the relationship. I don't think sharing details with friends is necessary, and unless agreed upon by both parties that it's okay, it's just blatantly disrespectful. Now, I do understand when you are super young and that first kiss and holding hands, it's all very exciting and novel and you're overwhelmed and you're learning so much. So it's more natural that you want to, share with your friends, I guess. But being an adult and being in adult relationships, I don't think it's appropriate to share intimate details with others. I see it as a matter of respect to you, your partner and the relationship. Now, of course, I'm not encouraging anyone to not share for the purpose of seeking comfort or reassurance in cases where perhaps you were uncomfortable or unsure about something. Actually, I very much encourage anyone who is in that situation to share that with someone that they trust. And now in terms of privacy, I think the same thing goes for things like disputes or arguments with your partner. I don't think there's a need to tell your friends and your family about every single detail, partly because it's private, it's no one's business, and also no outside person knows the full context of what's actually been going on, and so it's easy for your family or your friends to grow resentful of your partner. And I just don't think it's, again, a matter of respect to throw your partner under the bus like that. Again, and I want to be very clear on this, if you're in an unsafe situation, if you need to talk about something with someone, there's an issue going on, you need advice, of course, seek that help that you need. But I think the point here is to just not tell everyone your business. Intentionality. Now let's throw some light-hearted stuff in here, although it definitely requires some skill that I definitely don't have, but that I appreciate and admire a lot in other women. It is the ladies who intentionally coordinate things like their outfits and their jewelry, when the colors and patterns and fabrics and all of that is just perfectly matched and coordinated. I admire that so much. I want to become better at that. Take your commitments and words seriously. I think this is a good time for me to say that I am in no way perfect or even near perfect at any of these things, but I would like to think that I try. I have so much admiration for women, for people in general, who stay truly committed to what they say. Even when it comes to the small things, maybe especially the small things, when their actions match their words, not just to others, but to themselves as well, and it's all in the details. So for example, when you tell someone, I will call you tomorrow, call them tomorrow, and if you can't, inform them about that and make up for it. And when you tell yourself, I will get XYZ done at 3 p.m. today, take that seriously. Don't just be disciplined for the world and for your boss. How about yourself? We can all put on a show for the world to see, but integrity is what you do when nobody's watching, when no one's judging you, when you can't get caught. And I honestly think that a good way to get to know your own moral codes is to observe your own actions when you're alone. Are you cutting corners? What's the worst thing that you do? Is it picking your nose? That's not bad. Is it cheating on your partner? People who keep their word are hot, and it's all about being reliable. Make your own well-informed, educated decisions when it comes to birth control. Now, for some people, birth control has worked amazingly, but I do believe that, at least when I was a teenager, there was very little information provided other than, take this pill, it'll help you out. I believe that at that age, I was not given the opportunity to make a well-informed decision. What I remember is being recommended birth control at a very young age, actually not even recommended. It was very heavily pushed on me and my girlfriends. I advocate for women making their own well-informed choices, whether we're talking about birth control or something else that has to do with your own health. Don't blindly just agree to whatever is being thrown your way. We live in this amazing time where we can do so much research on our own. Talk to your friends, talk to people you trust, and most importantly, trust yourself and trust what your body and mind is telling you. Always advocate for yourself. Don't be shy to ask a ton of questions when you see your doctor or whoever it might concern. Ask for clarification or ask to see someone else. Take your health seriously. This brings me to my next point, which is ask questions. Ask for a raise, ask for responsibility at work, ask for those 3 days that you want to have off. Ask the guy that you're dating if he's looking for marriage. Ask him if he's looking for a committed relationship and tell him you're not interested in anything else. I'm baffled anytime I hear or read stories about women who are afraid to scare someone off or afraid they will come across as being too much. Oh no, you scared someone off? The person who wasn't at a place in their life where they can answer important questions and openly communicate their wishes with you? Does that sound like a loss or a win to you? I want you to look after yourself, and I want you to stand up for yourself, because if you don't, then who will?